Hello everyone, welcome to Teachers Help Board. Today we are going to learn a new lesson in EVS Part 1, Motions of the Earth. Let's first understand the term rotation. For this, let's try an activity. Take a top, spin it and observe its movement. The top turns around itself. Any object that turns around itself actually turns around a certain imaginary lines. Now, what do you mean by imaginary lines? It means that when an object turns around itself, we feel as if it is turning around a particular line or a line which is there and it's turning around itself. But actually, there is no line over there. Instead, we feel as if there is line around which a top is moving or any object is moving. You can try this activity on yourself. You can stand still and stretch your arms and try to turn around. You feel as if you are turning around a particular spot. So, this turning of an object around itself is called rotation, and the imaginary line around which it rotates is called its axis of rotation. Let's learn about the Earth's rotation. For this, let's take another activity. Take a globe like the one in the picture and spin it. Note the line around which it rotates. Now take a plumb line and hold it close to the globe as shown in the picture. Now children, what do you mean by a plumb line? A plumb line is an instrument that is used by most of the people who are in construction business to find the level of the wall. Now, if we do not have a plumb line, not to worry. You can make a plumb line of yourself. You can tie an eraser or any of heavy object to a string and use it as a plumb line. When you hold the plumb line, you will see that the plumb line and the Earth's axis are at an angle to each other. That is, the Earth's axis is inclined. Now, what do you mean by the word inclined? Inclined means it is slanting. That means it is not straight. So, in this case, a Earth is moving around an imaginary line which is called the axis. And this axis or this Earth's rotation is not straight. It is slightly tilted. So, the Earths rotate with its axis inclined. The line NS in the picture shows the Earth's axis. It passes through the center of the Earth. The point N and S are called the poles of the Earth. N is the north pole of the Earth and S is the south pole of the Earth. Now, let us understand the term equator. If a circle were drawn around the surface of the Earth, exactly in between the north and south poles, it would divide the Earth into two equal parts. This imaginary circle is called the equator. So it means that the two equal parts it makes of the Earth are called the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere respectively. Now let's try another activity. Stand a candle in the middle of a large table. Draw a big circle around the candle. Place a globe at any point on this circle. Light the candle. See that it is dark in the room. Suppose that the candle is the sun. Observe which part of the globe gets the sun's light and which one does not. Now looking at the globe from the direction of the North Pole, turn it anti-clockwise. This is how the earth rotates. That is, it rotates from west to east. From the activity, we learned that as the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun, one after the other, and turn away from it in the same order. Now, let's understand about sunset and sunrise. Now, we'll try this with our activity. Stick a red bindi on the globe. Set up the previous model of the globe and the candle. Now turn the globe anti-clockwise. Note, when it is sunrise, noon and sunset at the location of the bindi. After one sunrise, note when the next one occurs at the bindi. You will see that this happens when the earth completes one rotation. That is, when it makes one complete turn around itself. So, you will see that the bindi come back to its position. That means it has gone through one sunrise, noon and sunset, and again when it turns, the process continues. So, this process goes on and on as the earth rotates around itself. This tells us that this period of time that the earth takes to complete one rotation is called a day. A day has two parts, daytime and nighttime, or simply day and night we can say. For this purpose of measuring time, we divide the whole day into 24 parts, each of which is called an hour. Now, we learn what is a year. Now, move the globe along the circle on the table. As you do this, keep rotating the globe and ensure that the axis does not change its orientation. Orientation means that the axis is not moving the globe, it is steady in one place. Eventually, the globe will come back to its original place on the circle. This is how the earth revolves around the sun, even as it rotates around itself. The period of time the earth takes to complete one revolution around the sun is called 1 year. There are about 365 days and 6 hours in a year. Now we will learn about a leap year. In the Gregorian calendar, the year is taken to have 365 days. It means that it counts 6 hours less every year. That makes 24 hours or 1 day in every 4 years. To make up for this lost 1 day, the month of February in the Gregorian calendar has an extra day every fourth year. That year is called a leap year and it has 366 instead of 365 days. And February has 29 instead of 28 days. Now we will learn about the full moon and the new moon. The moon revolves around the earth and the earth revolves around the sun. However, these two orbits intersect. Hence, the sun, the moon and the earth are not always along a straight line. Now, let's learn about the phases of the moon. We see half of the moon's surface which faces the earth. That is, from the earth we see only one side of the moon. The moon has no light of its own. We can see the moon because of the sun's light that falls on it. This happens because the moon is a satellite. So therefore, it does not have a light of its own. It gets the light from the sun and that is how we are able to see the moon. Now, we learned that only one part of the moon, we can see always. We can't see the other parts of the moon. Now, out of this, on a full moon night, we see the entire side of the moon that faces the earth. On a new moon night, we cannot see any of it. That is, the moon is still there, but we are not able to see it. So, that night is called the new moon night. From the full moon to the new moon, the illuminated part of the moon seen from the earth becomes smaller and smaller, whereas from the new moon to the full moon, it again grows bigger and bigger. These different shades of the moon that we see are called the phases of the moon. Now we will learn about waxing and waning moon. It takes 14 or 15 days from new moon to full moon. This is the fortnight of the waxing moon. Now, what do you mean by fortnight? It means 2 weeks. Whereas, after the full moon, the moon appears smaller and smaller. And after 14 to 15 days, it is new moon again. This period is the fortnight of the waning moon. Thus, the period from one new moon to the next is of 28 to 30 days. It is called the lunar month. Every day of the lunar month is called a Tithi. So children, always remember, the rotation of the earth gives rise to day and night. The revolution of the earth and the inclination of its axis give rise to the cycle of the season. If you like this video, press like button. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. By doing this, we get motivation. Keep supporting us. Thank you.